This is almost like an exam for us. I was just telling Abhishek. He reads the book and he asks us a question. Okay, but I hope we are successfully answering all your questions. You know, I just want to take you off on a couple of other tangents. First of all, you've said over there for a 16-year-old, he must struggle, and if he doesn't work hard, he's not going to get anywhere, and so on. You know, something that worked with my 16-year-old was tell him exactly the opposite of what you want him to do. If you want him to work, tell him, hey, you worked very hard, just sleep it now, relax, chill, go out. And you see the responsibility that they take on. The minute you relax, the minute you tell them, don't do this, they will do that. So that's one of the things, but that's jokes apart. I'm going to take this analogy about parenting more seriously to us in the education field. I think a lot of these lessons are here for the teachers and for principals and for educators. I don't think today we see students as we should see them. I don't think students any longer are passive puppets who should just be lectured at. Earlier, the teacher was a sage on the stage. Today, you have to be the guide by the side. You have to be a friend. Like your dad was your friend, the teacher has to be a guide by the side. And how do you do that? Unless you understand, everybody tells me, oh, you're on Facebook, ma'am, how can you be on Facebook? But I need to know what my students are doing, right? I mean, I bring out something in the classroom and I tell them I just picked this up from the Facebook yesterday. And they're like shocked. They haven't even read it. So the important thing is, today forget about teaching students, forget about mentoring students, it's reverse mentoring. Even your 2-year daughter, consider her as more of a parent than you are. And I think that's the responsibility we have to develop in our students. I have very good, smart kids, 7,000 students in 18,000 square feet, that's Bombay. And I have the smartest students, I have affluent students, I have brilliant students. They are so clever. I went to an economics class. I don't teach economics, Andrea.
I know that.
I went to an economics class and I wrote a word, Keynesian economics. I'm sure somebody, whoever studied economics would know what Keynesian economics. And I wrote the word Keynes and I missed out the Y and I wrote Keines instead of writing Key. A sleepy boy from the back of the class said, hey ma'am, that's a wrong spelling. And I said, how the hell do you know? Because he'd never been to class and he was not, I thought he was sleeping. And he said, but that's your student today. He can Google, he has to be challenged. How do you challenge a young man like that who writes a book and enters the principal's office at the age of 19? And I think the way we can challenge these kids is, education today is not about teaching. We don't need books. They have all the information. I go to the class and I say, there's nothing I can teach you. All we have to do is, especially in India, education is about sensitizing, and that's what he's done through the book. He sensitized parents. I have to sensitize my students that there's a whole world outside which is not as privileged as you. And the two Indias, his father has done a brilliant 2-minute commentary on two Indias that live side by side. And I show that, and I put pictures to your father's commentary, and I show that to my students. There's an India which doesn't get water to drink, but there's an India which is spilling water. There's an India which doesn't have light, and there's an India which is wasting light, right? You have such stark realities with next to each other. Education and parenting and teaching is all about just that. Let me just tell you very quickly a last point. I used to keep gasotoing this in all the classes like I'm doing over here. That look how there's a guy outside who's not as privileged. Only 10 million out of the 500 million who have education. This year, sponsorships, we will assemble the solar lamps, we will take it. I said, go ahead. Next, sensitize that there is no solar. Today, they have lit of your college. Yeah, you better report 7 a.m. lecture, but before that, I want uh, Anjanya to write a book, same book, at the age of 49.
Thank you, everyone.
After having kids.
Yes, after kids and after having a 19-year-old, I'd like to see how you're writing now.
So that's when the sequel is going to come out.
Marketing alert. I think we're going to take this later.
I'm going to meet you all in a couple of hours at the Palladium Hotel. I'll do it then. You'll get a nice close-up. You can like it nicely.
Let's respect the author and the fact that we're today for the book launch.
Let's wish Anjani a very happy Diwali. Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being here with us today. Copy here with. We hope to see you soon.